But football without fans is nothing. It can be the greatest game in the world. If there are no people there to watch it, it becomes nothing.
Johnston. And a goal by Johnston. That makes it 2 by him.
We were magnificent. Magnificent.
Larson. Oh, he's in. Henrik Larsson. That is sensational. Nakamura.
The game is over. The Rebels have won.
He's done it! Garland's put it in, and without a doubt, the European Cup is on its way.
We'll never stop. We'll stop at half time, and we'll stop at the end of the game when we celebrate.
Hello and welcome to another episode of the Jungle Jump podcast. It's Monday the 14th of March and we've just beaten Dundee United in the Scottish Cup quarter final with 3 of the scrappiest goals you'll ever seen.
Oh, good, mate. I'm never, ever in a bad mood when we win. Convincing win on paper. It was a decent game, mate. There was a couple of times it was a wee bit turgid to watch, but all in all, mate, it was a good performance by the team. They applied themselves well. They played really, really good football at points, and of course, 3-0 win. Into the semis, the treble's still on, mate.
Paddy, have you got like music on in the background? Your TV still on?
Sorry, the telly's still on. Sorry.
I was actually listening to that wee Irish jig there rather than hearing what you were saying there. Sorry, mate. Through to the next round. Here is a draw on right now.
It's on its way, mate. It's on its way. That's why I've got the telly still on.
Cool,
so,
cool, good man.
Obviously, if anybody's fucking watching for Planet Zog, it's either going to be Hibs, Hearts, or you know who.
The Dirty Mob. Aye.
I've got a feeling it's going to be them, mate.
Right, okay. Give us a shout whenever they start the draw. But aye, 3-0. So it was a scrappy goal from Callum McGregor, a scrappy goal from Jackie Marcus, and another scrappy goal for Jackie Marcus again near the end. One of the ones I'm just say a professional performance whenever you watch a kind of not the best of games of football. We weren't really under pressure. I thought a few times we gave away the ball in like silly situations. It wasn't completely fluid. It wasn't completely fluent, but we did the job, man. Overall, more positives than negatives. A couple of things. Jota, he had a knock, so he never made the squad. Abada, he had an illness, and one thing for us. Tony Watt, he missed out. He wasn't in the squad for Dundee United. I think he's a big player for them. He holds the ball really, really well. Who's in the house, Paddy? Who's in the building? Who have we got so far?
Red Scotland's in. It's bring on the Sevco, the easiest side left in the draw. Frank Brennan, yes, indeed, bring on the skint wee Sevco. And Barry Horn. Barry, will you explain this one to me? The wanker's name's Barry, I know. I don't know what you're talking about, pal. No offence. But I'm just imagining that everybody's the same as me, mate, sitting watching the draw the now, anxiously waiting to see who we get. For those of you that's watching live, we'll do it together.
What did you think of the penalty? So, right, let's get to the penalty. And by the way, the two pundits, Michael Stewart and Chris Sutton, they were slaughtering Brother Beaton at half-time. At first, when I saw it, okay, so if nobody who actually saw the game, Giakoumakis handballed it in the lead up to Maida's goal, and it was still in the first half. It was immediately chopped off by the referee. At first, when I saw it, I'm like, no, it clearly hits his hand. It shouldn't be a goal. So I wasn't really miffed about that. But sometimes, like, I've got to hold my hands up and say, I don't really even know the handball rules nowadays. You thought you did at one point, but things change so much in football. So what was your interpretation of it, mate?
At first, I actually thought it was ball to hand rather than hand to ball. So at first, I was kind of like, that should be a goal. But then, if that goal was scored against us, mate, I'd have been raging. But after that, mate, even Stephen Craigan on fucking Premier Sports BT, whatever, is the most fucking one-sided FUD that I've ever heard. Even he was saying it was a goal.
Aye. They were all saying that the referee, John Beaton, doesn't understand the laws of the game, which was quite fun. he'll have to explain himself. Hopefully, at the end of the game. Obviously not in an interview, but he'll be taking a bit of flack from his employers. I would hope so. Anyway, aye, mate. So first half, okay, we get the goal in the 12th minute. A set piece. And it gets squared to Cam McGregor. Cam McGregor hits a low shot and it goes through a body of players. It takes a brilliant deflection from our point of view and it evades the goalkeeper Siegrist and it goes in. Great start to the game.
Aye, listen, it was a decent strike for Callum. Managed to squeeze its way through a kind of war, tangerine and green. Took a wee deflection just to go by the goalie, but listen, you don't shoot, you don't score, mate. Took a shot, scored, goes on the score sheet. So the man in the ivory mask done it again.
That's it. I wonder how long he's going to have that mask for.
Do you know what? I'm starting to think now, mate, that he doesn't need it for that long. But there was another guy who had like a kind of superstitious thing, and it was Mo Kamara. Mo Kamara, if you remember, used to wear a bandage up one of his arms. I think it was his left arm, and he didn't need it. It was a fucking kind of lucky kind of thing.
Really?
Same as Luis Suarez. I know, mate. He continued to wear that thing on his horn for fucking donkeys after it because he was in a scoring thing. So, it seems to be a kind of lucky wee mask for us as well, mate. Because I don't think we've done much damage since he's been in the Halloween zone. Aye,
true. I was just thinking a gum shield would have been good for Suarez rather than that wee kind of white tape that he had. What did you make of the Hatate yellow, that tackle when he went in? And I think everybody was up on their feet, at least for the Dundee United support, and obviously the Dundee United players. They were putting a lot of pressure on Beaton. I thought Beaton, he was a fair bit away, so he had plenty of time to actually sum up what happened and make the right call. So he only gave him a yellow, whereas other people were shouting for a red. What did you think of that? Do you think it was justified for yellow?
Definitely a yellow card, mate. Never red, but I actually liked the look of Hatate today, or tonight, sorry. I thought he was a lot more involved in the game. He was trying to put himself a bit about more than he has been in the last few weeks, trying to get involved, trying to get on the ball. And for me, mate, that just showed heart and desire because he had ran through the other side of the pitch almost to go and try and tackle the guy in the middle.
Mm-hmm.
He put the guy after the ball back to the Dundee United player and he continued on to go and try and win the ball. Maybe a wee bit rash and tempestuous, but hey, listen, at least they done it. But I think that's a draw starting, mate. Stu, continue to talk to me and I shall.
Right, okay. To be honest, I thought Hatate, he was trying, but I don't think a lot came off for him in the first half. And I think that's why he came off at half time. Obviously, get a yellow, but he came off at half time for Rogic. Do you thought that he was having a good game up until then?
I did, but I can understand why he came off. Obviously, yeah, a yellow card. There's a draw happening now, mate. It's actually the guy for Still Game that's doing the draw. He's got a big beard, that now. Canadian guy.
I don't watch Still Game. I know that a lot of people would like that.
No idea who the presenter is, mate, but your man Greg Hempel, he's doing the draw.
Oh, right. Greg Hempel.
He looks like a fucking tramp.
Greg Hempel, he's the tall one, isn't he?
He is, mate, yes, the kind of Canadian one, isn't it? Here we go. Here we go, Gav. Semi-final draw. First, Celtic's number 1, Hearts are 2, Hibs are 3, Huns are 4. Out of the draw first, number 1, Celtic at home.
Home draw.
So 2 is Hearts, Hibs are 3, Rangers are 4.
Hearts. Right, okay.
Hold on. Here we go. Oh, yeah, bastard, we've got the Huns.
Sorry, we've got Rangers?
Yes, mate, yes, we got them.
Good, mate, good.
Fucking knew it. I told you I felt it in my water.
Felt it in your bones. Right, okay, mate, that's a big one. Celtic at home to Rangers. Aye.
In the home end. It's got Hampden.
Oh, is it a Hampden? Fuck.
Aye, semi-final, mate, aye.
So it is, man, so it is. Right, okay. No, mate, still, the last time we played them, that was Big Julian's winner. He scored the winner. Going back a few years now, haven't we? Like 2.5 years or something. Am I right?
What's that?
The last time we played Rangers at Hampden, that was the cup final when Julian scored the winner.
Yes, mate, cup final.
Aye, right, okay. I will take that. So the guys watching, get your comments in. Celtic and Rangers, another Glasgow derby. That'll be the fifth meeting this season then.
So that's that'll be another 3 games this. Fucking
Aye.
oh.
Aye, well, the media will be loving that. I imagine that. Would you rather meet them now than in the final?
Yes, probably, mate. Aye, probably. Fuck them anyway. Fuck it. Play them whatever. Any boys with the comments coming in already? Just a couple before we done the draw there. I'm sure you won't mind me putting this up, Gav. Frank Brennan, doesn't our Gav look like the chubbier in the face wee brother of the current Celtic captain?
Oh, Cal McGregor. I'll take that.
Gilmac. Palman, how you doing, pal? New comment about the looks of it. Was Jackie Mackis really playing that bad?
I don't think he was. He was trying a lot. He might not have got the service that was really required. It was a bit of a physical game. I thought he did okay. I thought I'd give him maybe like a 6.5 out of 10.
Nice. His touch was honking at times, though, wasn't it? But again, with Jackie Mackis, he's always trying. He's always trying to get into the right positions. He done it again. Mate, he got 2 goals tonight. He got into the right position. Strikers goals too, you know.
The scrappiest ever, man.
Bend over, fuck the Rangers. Absolutely, mate. Red Scotland, it's another trophy in the bag. I certainly hope so, mate. Frank Brennan, yep. December 2019 and Julian's winner in the League Cup final. Aye, so that's another tasty one, mate. Another tasty one.
Right, mate. Back to the game, I guess. Right. Okay. Second half. I thought after the half time, it was far too open. Going into the second half, far too open. It was almost like end-to-end stuff. And I was thinking that Beaton would have been a better option rather than bringing on Rogic, because Hatate came off at that point. Thought we were far too open, and Beaton a bit of physicality in the midfield would have kind of and things. How do you think Rogic played in the second half when he came on? Because there's that him and O'Reilly can't play together.
He was honking, mate. It was absolutely shite. I don't know if it's maybe just a total coincidence, but he doesn't play well when O'Reilly plays with him, or vice versa. I was with you, mate. I would have brought on a more defensive player, especially when Dundee United started to look as if they were coming on to a game and trying to at least have a go at us. But that is what it is, mate. We played well enough as a team. Dundee United never really threatened us. I thought we defended well at the back, controlled the midfield overall, and our attacking play was really good. You know, I
thought Maida was very impressive for his work rate. I know that he'll always give you that. But there was one point, it might have been the second half, where we had kind of lost the ball. There was a counter attack on, and he sprinted from a forward position back into the midfield position to usher a guy out and to concede a throw in. He ran like, I don't know, 50 odd yards or something. He sprinted it, and I don't think we've got anybody in the team who could do that sort of thing. His work rate is second to none. Even if the quality is not always there, but in general, his overall performance, I thought he did okay on the left flank. I've not been a big fan of him being on the left flank, but I think he's understood that he's going to play a lot there, if he's going to play at all for Celtic. And I thought he put in a really good shift, and at times got a bit of quality, and he put in a good cross, which led to the second goal. And that cross, which he went to Siegrist, and Siegrist just like he just had butterfingers. He dropped the ball right to the feet of Giakoumakis, and he tapped it in from like 2 yards. But that goal wouldn't have came from Maida forcing that error, mate.
Aye, it's really unlike Siegrist too. I think it's actually a really, really good keeper. Solid, dependable. Obviously, he's done us a favour tonight. Must be a Celtic supporter. But as you say, mate, Maida was he's a pest. You know, his speed and his burst of pace it's something that it's a real weapon to us for us to have in the team. It's something that we've not really had like since maybe like a gap. You know what I mean? It really is it's a dangerous aspect to his play, but down the left-hand side tonight, I thought he was really, really good on the big open pitch. So that's where he's probably at his best, mate. And as you say, it looks as if he's starting to understand that he's not going to be the focal striker. He's going to be one of the guys that's either left or right, depending where he is. And that's good. That's good because we're getting to see probably the best of Giacomakis, who doesn't need to go and do running left, right, centre. You know, he can use his hold-up play, and he's got guys there that are actually going to go and win the ball from and get it into the right areas, which Maida done. The ball wasn't the best, wasn't the greatest cross, but listen, he crossed it into the right area. Keeper fumbled it, and Giacomakis was still making the movement to go towards it. He never stood static. He went for it, and he got some. He got a bit of luck, and scored. So great, absolutely great start.
Right, I'm going to ask you about Jimmy Forrest tonight. Now, you can tell me what your thoughts are of him, but I'm going to give you kind of one moment which stuck out for me. It was on the 72nd minute, and Forrest was played in by Giacomakis. He had two centre-backs, two defenders. He was backing them up. He was running at them. Now, he could have backed himself for pace and just drove at either one of them, made the angle and had a shot. But he shat himself, I felt. He procrastinated, and at that point, a recovering defender, a third one, came back and he kind of ushered them out. And funnily enough, Forrest actually fortuitously won a corner from that, because the defender actually got the ball near the corner flag and he kicked out for a corner for us. But Forrest had that moment where if it was a couple of years ago, he would have backed himself. And I just wonder if he doesn't have that anymore. He doesn't have the pace and he doesn't have the confidence to do it. Or maybe he's aware that he doesn't have it now. And
I could be wrong, mate. I could be wrong. I could be wrong, mate. But I totally agree with you on that one. I don't think he's got the confidence to know that he's got that extra yard of pace to go and meet a man. You know, you can see it in his play that he has lost a bit of pace. I don't think it's a hell of a lot, but I think it's enough to affect his mentality, as you said, which is probably the perfect way to put it. Because a few times he did actually, I don't want to say shit it makes. I actually thought he had a decent game tonight, but he didn't look like James Forrest. What he was trying to do, mate, is he was trying to hold the ball up a wee bit more to let Juranovic kind of make the overlap and run, which is something that you never ever saw for Jimmy Forrest. And he did actually make to good effect at one point, and that was for the disallowed goal for Maida. But he looked as if he's obviously come in tonight, Gav, and done a decent job. But is he's certainly not a James Forrest old, mate. But
aye. Well, his replacement, we made a shitload of substitutions later on. Karamoko, McCarthy, and Mikey Johnson came on. Forrest, O'Reilly, and Maida came off, and a few minutes later, Gucci came on. And McGregor came off. What did you think of Karamoko, Dembele, his contribution? I'm sure McGinty would have been excited at the sight of him coming on. What do you think? He actually did all right, I thought.
Aye, that's what I says to you earlier on, mate. I'm not really a big... I'm delighted to see youth players getting a shot and young guys and that, but I'm not really a massive kind of supporter of Karamoko Dembele. I know that's to say that I don't like him or anything, I don't want him to see him good. I just don't think I didn't think it was going to happen, you know what I mean? Especially with his contract being up at the end of the season. But earlier on, I actually thought to myself, I think I messaged you, and I went, do you know what? I'd actually put wee Karamoko in the night and give him a shot at running. You know, keep Maida in the left, put Karamoko on the right. Let's see how he gets on in a physical game, because that's what Dundee United were starting to do. And I thought he actually cut his cell really, really well. He looks to be one of these players, though, that you're not going to get much out of him unless he's involved on the ball. I don't think he's off the ball. Efforts is going to be up there with like a Maeda's or a Giacomakis. But certainly when he's got the ball running at you, he can be dangerous, which we saw in the lead up to the goal.
Did you see that wee shoulder challenge at the end that kind of set him flying?
I did, mate. It was just a wee video you sent me. You know, he's fucking on the deck. He's looking at, and he actually had the Musa Dembele eyes. You know, the fucking eyes popping out his head as if he's fucking swallowed about 1,000 Dectos.
What have we got here for Frank Brennan? I've previously spoken of Maeda's Forrest Gump type running, and I've never meant it too disparagingly, although not too much comes off or from it. But for sure, defenders can never ever relax with him. I mate, 100%. They can never relax. They can't coast the game up against Maeda.
That's what a few guys are saying, mate. Ford Roaster, the epic name. Maeda was fantastic today, and previous to that, Red Scotland had said, obviously listened to the interviews after the game. According to Ange, Maeda's closing down in transition is elite level. And there's a question from Ford Roaster, mate. I'll leave this one to you to answer. Who would you play on the right, Dembele or Forrest?
Okay, so we're assuming that Abada is not in the question. If that is the case, I would do again what we did today, but start Forrest, and if it's not working, bring on Dembele. That's what I would do. Yeah.
Here's another question. Who do you think McGinty would pick?
Dembele every day of the week. Play him up front. Play him. Ask him where he wants to play. He can play where he wants. 3 rows.
We've spoke about the attackers and we've spoke about how well they done. How do you think the midfield and the defence get on?
Well, just before we do that, can I just double check if you got a curfew? Do we still have you? Cool. How do I think the midfield did? I thought that look, Dundee United for large parts went man for man against us, but I felt at times we lost the ball in silly positions that included in the midfield as well. I was hoping for like one of the games where you'd finish and say, I thought O'Reilly was really, really good. I thought he didn't really stand out for me, O'Reilly. McGregor, I think he does a lot of he played the 6 role again today. I think a lot of what McGregor does goes unnoticed. It looked on paper a very, very mobile midfield. McGregor, O'Reilly, Hatate. I know that you said that you thought Hatate had a really good first half, or a good first half. I thought that at times he was getting out-muscled. I just felt that sometimes it just wasn't really coming off for Hatate. I thought the midfield were so. I would give them a 6.5 out of 10. Aye.
Okay.
You disagree?
No, I thought McGregor, as you say, McGregor was probably the best one at the lot of them. O'Reilly had a few nice touches. But aye, it wasn't a top draw performance for the midfield, but aye, they did well enough. Defence, I thought Juranovic was excellent. I thought his covering was brilliant. I thought his attacking down the right hand side was exceptional. Really fast. Was that it?
He plays with swagger, aye.
Oh, he does. Oh, listen, he absolutely does. He plays like a Croatian international right back. He just looked absolutely class. I think Vickers, just his usual solid, dependable self. I thought Starfelt had a really, really good game, mate. At one point, you know how kind of critical I've been about Starfelt with his left foot and how kind of weak I think he was on his left side. At one point, it was actually, you know, kind of our defenders kind of play the ball across the box, close in front of the keeper. Mate, it was actually pinging balls with his left feet, and I seen him going to pass it. And I went, "Oh, don't!" In the next minute, he's pinging it perfect. So listen, he had a great game. And poor wee Greg Taylor. Greg Taylor's just like the run to the litter, isn't he? You know, he's like the wee guy. And I know this is probably going to sound terrible, but you can see the difference in class with Greg Taylor and the rest of the players. Greg Taylor's like the wee guy at Sports Day that gets a certificate for participation. You know, but the one thing I will say about Starfelt, you ever seen the movie Moneyball with Brad Pitt? Yes.
Aye. And it's all about buying players due to statistical analysis. I think.
Is he the guy that throws the ball under his fucking arm?
Yeah, exactly, mate. Exactly. That's the point I was going for. He looks aesthetically, it looks crap. You're like, the guy's got a weird, unorthodox style. But I think if you were to judge it by numbers, by stats, he's probably right up there. And that's why we're top of the league. And that's why we've won a trophy and we're going for another trophy. It looks off, but it's actually working. I don't know if I've kind of articulated that the way I wanted.
I know I know exactly what you mean, mate. And do you know what? I probably was being a wee bit unfair on him because he was decent at the night. I'm just thinking of it. You look at Tannadice on the right-hand side and look at Greg Taylor on the left. But do you know what? Nah, do you know what? It's not fair, mate. Let's leave at any point and try to can I put anybody down the night. It was a good team win. Everybody done well. Taylor, for all his faults, was bombing up down the left-hand side. He was getting involved. So
he'll always put in a shift. Taylor will always put in a shift for you. What was the last comment that we had? Somebody saying I'm only 19, but
there's a few comments coming in about Dembele. So Fudge Roaster was saying that he would go with Dembele. He did more than the 15 minutes than Forrest did all game. That was in relation to the question he asked you.
Comment, aye.
Kevin 14, how we doing, buddy? Talking about the Rangers. If they make the Euro quarters semi is sandwiched in between those legs, games are stacking up bad for them. It's a great draw. Okay. And Frank Brennan, although McGinty will love this comment, although still only 19, Karamoko promised so much 2 to 3 years back, but it's never really happened for him, and this has been down to a combination of a poor attitude and lack of physical development. I don't know about the physical development, mate, because he really looks as if he's obviously grown. We all know he's a wee short arse, but so is fucking Messi, you know what I mean? But he definitely looks as if he's filled out a wee bit as well.
Not going to get it well. But the physical development for me was telling whenever that shoulder challenge happened at the very end, and he went flying, and he looked as if he thought he'd been fouled, but everybody else was kind of laughing at it to say, "Mate, get up, that wasn't even a tackle." I think for physical development, the wee boy is undercooked. The only way that he's going to fill out is out that way. He's not going to get any taller.
Would you say he's undercooked?
For physical development, he's undercooked.
Like a chicken, a roast chicken.
He could do a bucket of KFC to fill it, man.
Aye, probably. Mate, just one thing I wanted to point out tonight. I know I thought the away support was magnificent once again. They just continue to excel themselves every single time, mate. And you know, travelling away up to Tannadice on a Monday night was great effort. And even at the end of the game, you could see how much rapport the manager had with their fans, because he's right off. You know, Big Ange, he doesn't fucking bounce about. He doesn't fucking give it the old Ronnie Diver. Right? He just kind of walks on, clenches his fist, or shakes that invisible jacket, and the fans love it, mate. And I think he loves the fans. So
it is. There's a special bond right there, man. Aye. Right, okay, onwards and upwards. Who have we got? We've got somebody this weekend. I'm like the worst podcaster in the world. Who are we playing this weekend?
Ross County on Saturday in the league.
Right, okay. Sounds like an easy one on paper. Can't take it for granted. At Parkhead?
Yes.
Good. Aye, the last one was a bit of a bit skittish.
Aye, back to Celtic Park, mate. League duties 3 o'clock Saturday. Has got the potential to be a tough game, but I think, obviously, as you said, it's no up and down wall. So Malky Mackay is going to be coming to Celtic Park, and you probably imagine that he's going to set up kind of overly defensively. But they've got that boy, magnificent name, Joseph Humbo, who can be a threat with that left foot and his speed. There's another guy, I think his name's Rigo Cox or something, or Rigo Cook. Kind of be a bit dangerous as well, but I'd imagine that Celtic will take the task to him at Celtic Park, big open field. You know, we're still approaching games with confidence. No overconfidence, but certainly confidence. And now we're starting to bring in that wee bit of gusto and bravado, which again, it's not been overly wankery. It's just been very, very it's just being very, very confident in your own abilities, mate. And Big Ange has got the boys playing the right way. So I look forward to that, mate. And hopefully we get another 3 points in the bag and just carry on. I'm not sure who the rotten mob have got at the weekend. Don't particularly give a fuck, but hope they get beat.
Aye. After the Tavernier penalty, hopefully they do get beat. Yeah. And
that's another one, mate. We'll need to get up to the viewers and see if they want to start playing the penalty bingo.
That's it. Always guaranteed. I think Ange in his pre-match interview, he said that Jota and Abada should be okay for this weekend. So that's good. That's good. We need everybody back. Best wishes to McGinty. He's just came out of a bad spell of COVID, but we think he's okay. And the winter up in the Shetlands is never kind anyway for someone who's got COVID. So all the best, McGinty.
Yes, mate, all the best indeed. So, sorry, I'm not laughing at the fact he's get COVID. It's just the fact somebody, in fact, it was Dale's eyes. He said about to get COVID. There's only 3 people in Shetlands. Right. You get better, buddy. And I'm sure you'll be jumping for joy that we Carrick will go to a game tonight and set up a goal. So that's you. You'll be walking about with the chest puffed out.
That's it. Right, well, I guess Paddy's got a curfew tonight, so this will be an unfortunate short one, but glad we did a wee post-match review anyway, mate. That's it. And, well, tomorrow's the Tuesday roundup, of course, so fuck knows what we're going to talk about, but we'll make something up. We'll make some shit up, man.
Well, talk about making things up, sorry. Red Scotland, overly wankery a word. I don't believe it's in the dictionary, but it's certainly...
Give it time. Give it
time, mate. Give it time. It seems to be kind of decent for Joe. I think Ross County will one of the away games. Aye. Listen, everybody. Thanks for the comments again. Join in the night if you've not done it. Jump on, give us a wee subscription. Myself and Gav and I think McGinty will be back tomorrow for the weekly roundup, 7:00 Tuesday night. We'll touch a wee bit on tonight's game with McGinty, talk about the semi-final, and we might throw in a wee...
Maybe boy dope.
Aye, wee doke, wee dick, jumped away to Liverpool. And we'll maybe try and throw a wee couple of topical things in just to keep it interesting, mate.
If we can,
right. If we can, yep.
Right, okay. Again, to the viewers, thank you very much. Hit that like button as well. So, from myself and Paddy, good night. See you tomorrow.
Get it, jeez.